guys, and welcome to For a Love of Rescue, sponsored by You Know It, Woodrock Animal Rescue. Guys, I've got such an exciting show today, chat today, should I call it, with James, our behaviourist. He's absolutely incredible. He calls himself Sir James, and for a very good reason, because he's just outstanding. He's got a lovely way about him. He's got a phenomenal touch with his animals, and he reads animals so well. And I think that if you actually can read your animal's body language and you can read the circumstance around, then you know how to handle it. You know how to handle what's coming next. So you know how to handle if you're looking at the dog, for example, and the dog looks a little bit nervous, tails between its legs, etc. You know what to look for. You know how, and now you know how to treat it. So now you'll treat the dog in a specific way. Same thing if the dog comes in and is all excitable, etc. You reading his body language, you know exactly how to handle his surroundings in order to better it for him and obviously for you and your family. So I think that I've got an important topic to talk about today, James. Welcome, James.
Thank you so much, Jax. Thank you so much, madam.
So what I'd like to talk about today, being in the world of rescue, people come in and they adopt a dog from us.
Yes.
When they've adopted the dog and they now go home with their adopted dog, I'd love you to give people tips and tricks, because in my experience, you get two kinds of people. You get people that adopt a dog and are very relaxed and will take our advice and they'll go with the flow. And then you get people that are so hysterical and so amped up and panicked. And because, part of it is that they want perfection. They want to bring the new dog in and they want it to be as if it's always been in their home, which I understand. I mean, we all want that. But obviously it's not like that. It's like when you if you only had one child and you bring a baby, another child into the home, there are going to be changes and there are going to be things. And I watched the most lovely thing on on TikTok actually, where they brought the toddler in and they handed the new baby and he looked at it and he goes, "I don't care." And they said, "What?" He goes, "I don't care. Meet your new sister, I don't care." So there's a lot of changes, and the same thing happens when you bring a new dog into your family where there are existing dogs. So James, can you please give our people out there some tips and tricks when they bring a new dog into their home environment?
Brilliant. Hi, guys. Say James here. As Jax said, lovely. Let me put it this way: 70% is human error, not in a bad way, but remember, when people go and adopt a dog from shelter, before they even get there, they have that sympathy on a dog to say, "Oh, what they went through," and stuff like that. So when they bring the dogs home, you know what they do? Either they give a dog a lot of attention, right, which is going to cause a big problem tomorrow with the dog they have already. Or maybe people, they get a lot of work to do, they are busy, they don't give their dogs enough stimulation, such as walking. We're talking about physical stimulation now: walking, play tag war, all those things. And even mental stimulation. Remember, economic is not so good at the moment, so people, they're stuck in a meeting, they got to work in the morning, early in the morning, stuff like that. So listen, guys, so when you adopt a dog, please, you need to see the amount of attention you give it to your dog. Don't give a dog too much attention, which is going to cause a lot of problem tomorrow.
Okay, so the first thing that I'm hearing here, which I actually think it's an important thing, is that number one, it's always us, it's always the people, because we've got a preconceived idea of what we expect to happen when we do take the dog home. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I'm hearing now is that some people believe that getting another dog is just going to be a solution, a quick fix in their home because they've got a dog. The dog might be anxious and might be needing some extra attention, and they believe that just by bringing in another dog is just going to solve that problem. And what you're saying is that, yes, the dog will add value to the current dog. It's a lonely dog. It'll be able to play with it and have a friend, but simultaneously, animals still need interaction and human stimulation.
100%. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, perfect. So, James, let's start off. Let's then go into the two scenarios. So the first is when you're adopting an animal, don't have a preconceived idea of what's going to happen at home, number one. Number two is, I think that when you're adopting a dog, as you said, remember that dog, don't feel sorry for it. There's the most beautiful, beautiful thing I saw, and it said, "Don't feel pity on me because I'm a rescue dog, adopt me." And it's so true. And just because it's a rescue dog doesn't mean it's broken. Just because he comes from a risky environment doesn't mean that he's harmed or damaged. It means nothing of that. So don't have a preconceived idea on what that dog has been through and what you're bringing home, because it's a new slate and it's starting from fresh. So if someone brings home a dog and they bring it home and they're all excited and the kids are excited and their new dog obviously is going to feel uncomfortable, what's your advice? So they walk into the house and what do?
Brilliant. If you do have kids and you bring a new dog in your home where there are other dogs, you also need to advise your children or teach your children how to approach that dog. Because remember, now this is a new environment, different environment from where the dog was before. Okay, so the kids, they need to watch their excitement level. So you need to do this under supervision, because remember, kids are kids. They might pull a dog by the ear or by the tail. The dog will never like it. Within a day or so they'll say, James, this dog is not good with our kids, and that we know that this dog is good with the kids. So they need to supervise a special way in the environment they are kids, right? Two, they need to introducing the dog the right way. So let's say you have got a dog and I need to bring another dog to you.
So Carlton, 1 second. I love this, and I'm stopping you here for 1 second, because I think what you said first is very important.
Yes.
Is that depending on your age of your children, they're going to experience, or they're going to relate to the dog, or they're going to interact with the animal differently, right?
Yes.
So if you have a little one, so you have got a toddler or a baby, it's about teaching them how to interact with the dog.
Brilliant.
And the same thing if you've got a 13-year-old. So the advice that you're giving is that you tell your kid, don't kuchiku and in the face and staring at it and trying to pick it up, and because you putting the dog into a stressful environment and you're making them feel uncomfortable. That, hold on a second, I actually need space. Oh no, I don't really know you. I don't know. What are you going to do to me? So it's to give that animal space, and so no matter what age the children are, whether they're toddler, etc., is to teach the children to kind of just breathe and give the animal space to come to them.
Give a dog some time, because now we're talking about two different environments. Does that make sense? So even if the dog had confidence at the shelter or at Woodrock, now the dog is going into a townhouse or in an estate where the dog is not going to feel comfort. Or dogs are different. Some of them, they just get there, they're becoming hyper, they're becoming happy. But if you doesn't know how to read body language very well, some dogs might bite when they get excited. Some dogs might react when they get nervous. Does that make sense?
But then that's all going to depend on our behavior.
Yes.
So if we go there and they're a nervous dog and we give them space, they're not going to be reactive in any format. And simultaneously as well, if they're an excitable dog and we go there, we also give them space, they're also going to react well. So it's all about giving them space when they're around.
Brilliant. In other words, let me put it this way. Do not approach a dog sitting by the corner there. What you can do is bring some yum stuff such as your Viennas. Let the dog approaches you. Because if a dog approaches you, what does that mean? The dog is feel comfort.
Yes, okay, so I love that. Right, sorry. Into your next point. So that was your first point.
Yes.
What was your next point? How do you bring him into the house in the right way?
All right. Introduction is very, very important. I want to clarify this. When I'm talking about introduction, I'm not only talking about other dogs, human beings as well. So for example, when you bring a dog home, especially these bigger breeds or medium breeds, I'll prefer you guys to do it when your gardeners and your nannies, even your children at home. Because I normally get calls saying, Surgeons, this is what's happening. We took the dog from Woodrock on Saturday. Today, the dog is going for my gardener. Does that make sense? What went wrong there? The introduction.
Okay.
Introduction. When we're talking about introduction, what you need to do is don't just bring the dog into a home environment. What you can do is you ask your gardener and nanny to go into a neutral environment, 100 meters away from your yard, okay? And then let the dog meet them there, then you walk in together.
Absolutely, and I think the positive of that, the great thing of that, is that you show your dog that it's okay. that this person is a safe person. This person will be kind to you and to the animal. So I think it's really important already, if the dog is in their space, now they're in their home, and someone is going to come in that they haven't met before that works in that home, they can think, hold on a second, who are you? You weren't here when I arrived.
Yes.
So I think that's a very, very good advice.
Brilliant.
Very good advice. So James, in rescue, there's a magic number: 3 days, 3 weeks, 3
3
months.
months. Yes.
Let me just explain that out to our audience.
All right. So, good people out there, patience is key. So, dogs, they react, different. But what I realize is that not only on ladies, I'm so sorry, right? I'm not picking up on you guys. Don't be anxious yourself. Don't panic, because the dogs, they will pick it up. They will sense it. Does that make sense? So now you think that this dog has nervous issue, or this dog is panicking, not realizing that it's on you. It's actually you who started that. All right. So now my point is, you need to give a dog some time to settle in. Don't force a dog to do whatever you feel like you have to do. For example, even when it comes to feeding time, you adopt a dog this morning, you get home, and you expect a dog to eat in the evening. Some dogs, they're like, you know what, I need to settle a bit. So you don't need to worry about it. And then tomorrow morning, try to feed your dog again. If the dog didn't eat like twice, then you need to contact the vet or stuff like that. But my point is, you need to give a dog time to settle. But hear me, yourself, you don't need to panic. Don't be anxious. Don't be nervous. Because if you do that, your dog will pick it up or you sense it, and then they can use that. Did I
So
answer your
that's
question?
it did, because in a sense, what James is saying is that having a new animal, even in our home, the first 3 days you're anxious, you're standing on edge, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to feed the dogs. Should you feed them together? Should you feed them separately? You see your other dog getting a bit antsy, whatever, and you do get a bit anxious, and the dogs are going to pick up on that. So give it 3 days to just breathe, and you breathe and just relax, and then give it 3 weeks to also, within from 3 days to 3 weeks, things settle, and then by 3 months that animal will finally say, hold on a second, I'm home. This is my house. This is my home. These are my people, and I'm so happy. And I think what you brought up has been a really phenomenal point. Is that how we feel is how our animals feel. They're amazing. They're so intuitive, and they pick up on our anxieties. They pick up when we're sad. I mean, that's why, from a mental wellness perspective, animals have been such a gift to people, because they release endorphins, they settle, the serotonin levels go up, they settle your central nervous system, and all of that. And why are they doing that? They're coming to you because they can feel and they sense that you actually need them, that you're feeling anxious. And I'm going to compare it to children, which is something I actually always do. If I've got a bit of flu at the moment, and my children are on edge, knowing I'm sick. Mommy, how are you feeling? Are you okay? So they sensing that I'm not feeling great, and they wanting to sympathize with me, okay, all the time. Are you okay? Are you okay? And the same thing happens if I get in at home and I'm feeling a little bit anxious, and your kids can pick it up. Your kids start feeling your anxiety and they start acting anxious, and the same thing happens with animals. So, if I'm walking my dog on a lead, which does happen, and James has come to my home to assist me, I'm walking my dogs on a lead, and I'm now feeling anxious because there's another dog, and what am I going to do? And I don't want a dog fight and everything else. James is relax, because if you relax, your dog is relaxed. If I'm feeling anxious, the dog's also going to be, oh, I need to. What's going on here? They pick up your anxiety. So I think you've given us our audience a great few tips.
Brilliant.
I'd like to do this a couple of times. I'd like to have you more on our show a little bit more, and talk about other things. So guys out there, if there's anything that you would like, our behaviourist, he's an independent behaviourist. So, his thought process and everything is independent, and sometimes he'll disagree with me or the way that I want to do things, because he's all for the animals. But if you have anything that you'd like Sir James to talk about or for us to address in one of these podcasts, please go ahead and just share what you'd like us to chat about your topic. But it's been great. Thank you for being on the show with me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Jackie.
And we're always excited to have you guys. So we are signing out from For a Love of Rescue, powered by Woodrock Animal Rescue.
Thank you.